wait to see if anybody shows up, and hopefully you can hear us. Let us know if you can hear us. I'm trying to see where the comments are. One time we did a live and I could see the comments. Chat viewing options. Oh, look, I think I'm. Oh, look, Hannah says we can hear you, and I can
All
see the
right.
comments. Yay.
All right. We are officially live.
All right, so, oh, now I can see up here. Right now there's one person on. So
That'd probably be Hannah.
it probably would. Thanks, Hannah. Our daughter is jumping on to make sure we can be heard because yesterday we couldn't, guys. So we're redoing day 2. This is day 3 of Go Live, and we're redoing yesterday's because we had no sound. So the topic today, oh, and welcome to Training Wild Burros, guys. I should have read this right before we went live. So this is day 2 of my 50-day Go Live Training Wild Burro Challenge. And on day 1, we talked about why we're doing this, why I'm doing this. And today is the how to set up for your wild donkey. So before your donkey comes home, oh, I see one more person is on. Awesome. 2 more people are on. Look at that. Okay, so when your wild donkey is going to be coming home, you're going to want to make sure you really do have a 5-foot tall fence. Now, if it is a Mustang, you have to have 6-foot tall fences. And we use the panels that have a chain that wrap around. Those are totally great for the donkeys, the wild burros. I wouldn't recommend those for Mustangs. And don't think you can like skimp by. There's rules that the BLM have, and those rules are for a reason. And the reason is we've even had some try to jump over when they had too much pressure and they tried to jump over, and they've actually knocked the panels over. So have the right size fence. Your water troughs, we've had more than one, especially from the 7 troughs HMA, that means herd management area, that if it is even just a couple inches low from the top, from the tippy top, they're too afraid to drink water. Now, I notice when I'm down there training, you see them pee while you're down there. And when I watch them pee, if it looks like apple juice, I know that they're not drinking water. And then I'll look over at the water trough and be like, oh, it's 3 inches down, and now they're afraid. I don't know how long it's going to take them to become comfortable with that. Squirrel got here in June, and he's still afraid of the water. So there's a quote, guys, it will take the time that it takes. Came from 7 troughs, and they were afraid. The group that she came with, she's fine. She doesn't care how low it is anymore.
Right, but at first it's a predator prey thing. If they got to stick their head down in a water trough, it obstructs their vision, and they're hesitant to do it. The panels that we use, the brand is Preferred. It's a handy panel. They're not heavy duty. They're 5 feet tall. They're held together. They're 12 feet long, 5 feet tall, with chain latches to connect them. They're not very expensive. They're the cheapest ones out there. They're probably about $130 here, a panel here in Montana, and they seem to be adequate for the donkeys. I mean, they could still, if you push it, they could still jump over it. But we've ran a lot of donkeys through these pens, and they're 5 feet tall. Their brand is Preferred.
What have we done, like 30 now? 30 wild donkeys?
We've done many.
So yeah, those work great. Your footing, you want to make sure that you're not on like the side of a hill. We don't want them to slip, or you to slip, like pulling in the hay and stuff. It gets muddy sometimes. So it's nice to have some nice flat ground. We did have a situation last year, and it was on flat ground. Honk the Donk. If you guys haven't seen it, you can check out the video. I don't know if she laid down or she was colicking when it first happened, but it was 35 below zero. She was cast under the fence, meaning her legs were stuck. She couldn't get up. Dan had to use a Sawzall to cut the panel apart so he could get her up. And those panels they have a different latching system. They're a lot more heavy duty. So keep yourself with flat footing so you're not slipping or your donkey's not slipping when it gets slippery, and it will happen. Shade or shelter. You need to have shelter for these guys. We can have some doozers of storms. They need to be able to get out of the rain or hail, snow. And they don't always go out. Sometimes they're just stubborn and stay out there. But donkeys are kind of prone to getting rain rot. So we want to be able to have access to just a clean, dry area for them. And I'll be making another video later on about rain rot because Seamus just had it. And he's over it now. We treated him and he's all better. But so keep your ground flattish as you can. The size 24 by 24. Every donkey needs to have, or any wild that you bring home, they need to have 400 square feet. That's mandatory from the BLM. We did try gentling some in our big round pen. It's like 50-foot diameter. That was too big. I like the 24 by 24 size. Oh, and then like corners. One time our daughter, she made us this hay feeder. So it's made of like angle iron.
Angle iron and re-rod.
And so we put that in there so that they didn't have to eat hay from the ground, right? Because we would prefer them not to eat from the ground. But the first batch that we brought home, we call them the golden girls because they're like, oh, they're so hard to come by, that big. But she was eating. She's still nervous about everything. Eating. This is what we think happened. She just picked up her head fast and she cut her head. She was too wild to be treated. And the vet said that she was going to heal just fine the way she was. However, the trust we would have lost by trying to treat her, it wasn't worth it for her situation. She has healed up just fine. Hey guys. Oh, it's Mountain Built. Hey guys. Can't stay long, but saw you were live and just wanted to say hi. Hope all is well. Thanks, guys. That's Mountain Built. If you guys haven't checked out their channel, you totally have to. They're awesome. All right, so start off with just start feeding them from the ground because we don't want anything in there that's going to scare them, whether it be a hay bag or a metal feeder. They get scared when they first come, guys. So the very first steps that we like to take when we bring them home, we used to try to get first touch like immediately with the donks. And we can do it, but is it worth it? We have decided no, it's not. So we like to start off with just sitting outside of the pen and then feeding them hay. And it's like a game. How close are you willing to eat next to me? And they might need to be 24 feet away for them to be comfortable enough to eat next to us. And they might come and eat from your hand. Every donkey is different, or any Mustang. They're all different. And then after we get them comfortable enough to come eat hay next to us when we're on the outside of the pen, then we start going on the inside of the pen. And it's the same game. And you can use it with hay or oats. When you're working with hay, if you just have like a small little bundle of hay, that might be too intimidating for them to come. Sometimes you can get yourself a bundle of hay that's like 2 or 3 or 4 feet. Well, probably not 4 feet. I'm exaggerating. But if the longer it is, the braver they can be. So you can kind of hold your arm out, lean away, and then sometimes they'll get brave enough to come take a bite from your hand. And Hannah knows she's been over here. We've had some that take forever to take a bite from our hand. Rosa and Pine are some of those, and Squirrel. So we start off feeding them near us while we're on the outside of the pen, and then we try to start getting them to come and take hay from our hand. Our goal is to build up curiosity. Once we can get them curious, there's so many things that we can do. Tools that I like to use, training flag. So our average training flag is about 4 feet long. Now guys, when we bring home donkeys, we're not normally bringing home 1 or 2. We're bringing home, 3, 4, 7. And then when I'm separating them, they kind of move around like a school of fish. They just...
like minnows in a bucket.
Yeah. So I like to use this really long training flag and just to help move. You have to stay out of their kicking space. And for safety, make sure you're always giving them a way out. Because when they're so nervous, they might try to run over top of you or jump over a fence. Any of that stuff can totally happen. I've been asked about gentling them when there's more than one together. If you have 2 wilds or more than one wild, I like to separate them for gentling them. They will feed off from each other with their emotions. Remember, they are masters at noticing each other's emotions or ours. So from like 4 feet away, they can identify our heart rate. Like, isn't that amazing? Totally amazing. I have questions too that were asked that I'll be answering at the end of this. Oh, and I also want to thank Praise the Lord 4222 for letting me know that we didn't have any volume yesterday. I saw it right when we clicked off, but it was 25 minutes in.
Thank you very much for letting us know.
Common mistakes. Common mistakes is moving too fast. Donkeys really thrive with that emotional connection. They need to feel safe. They're like the professors of the equine world. So going too fast is only going to escalate them. And because they're donkeys, you know how people say that they're stoic? It can be really hard to notice when they're really upset or not. I've started to notice like little wrinkles that go on the side of their nose even before they have a parrot lip. So if their top lip is sticking out further than their bottom, they're nervous. If they're not blinking, they're nervous. If their tail's swishing a lot or they're stomping flies more than your other animals around, they're nervous. Going too fast is probably the biggest common mistake. Do you have anything to add to that?
No, you covered it.
Let's see. Now, let's go to my questions. So I was asked by Emily Smith, is there anything different you do when you bring them to events? We usually did trails and fencing with the donkey. Be ready to go slow. They get familiar with what you're doing at home. One time I brought 5 donkeys with me to an event at the local horse show. Dan was gone. I loaded up all 5 by myself. People probably think I'm crazy, but it's okay. But Wild Donkey, she froze up. Like, I could do obstacles with her at home. And when we got to that event, trying to do the obstacles while everybody else was doing the competition stuff, I couldn't move her with oats. I couldn't move her with a flag. She was just on like shutdown. Once they get there, there's not a lot you can do. It took me 45 minutes to load her in the trailer afterwards. Now, this same donkey, I used her at the Ty Evans cow clinic, and we walked between cows and moved cows. So they'll get over that stuff. It just takes time. Be ready to have to slow down. A donkey will humble you so fast.
If she's riding on trails and doing fencing, you know, that's some familiarity for the donkey. Going to an event where there's kids and strange horses and donkeys and mules and a lot of activity, you know, look, because the donkeys are stoic, some telltale signs. If suddenly they got loose poop, if they got the runs, they've absorbed some stress. The wrinkles on the face that MaryJo talked about. Look for that parrot lip. So just be careful how much you're asking of them at their first, second, or 7th event. And just watch for these little signs that your donkey's under stress. And just be respectful of that fact that they might be a little more stressed than they're letting on to. And sometimes that stress will lead to belligerent behavior, you know, shutting down, not doing what they're asked when you ask them to do it. So just be mindful that they do get stressed out and watch for those cues.
And then you want to try to be part of them, like relaxing. We brought Wild Mustang Stein to the local horse group, and he was doing like okay until everybody started to get there. So we got there before I was doing a drill team. We got there before everybody else, and he was doing pretty good. And then as more vehicles, trailers, other equines started to get there, he started to lose his marbles. So we put him in the trailer, and he started pawing and having his little temper tantrum. I was going to bring him out and try to do something else with him, and I was actually too uncomfortable to try to halter him and bring him out, or, you know, just get his lead rope. So we ended up by driving the trailer to the other side of the building where he just had like a little quiet space, and he got calm. So whether it's a Mustang or a donkey or domestic or wild, what can we do to help the experience be good for them? The other question we had here was, where do you get your donkeys other than the BLM, and how do you decide which one will you work with next? So the first part of that, we got Honk the Donk off from Craigslist. I bought donkey, we bought one, I have a fly in front of me. We bought one from Mule Days years ago.
Yeah. Holler came off of Facebook Marketplace.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Or Facebook, yeah.
So having having a good reputable person is super nice.
Yeah, yeah. You know, and for training wild burros, you know, our specialty is training of wild burros. So we're pretty much stuck getting them from the BLM, and we haven't investigated the U.S. Forest Service. I understand they have some as well. May want to take a look at them for a source. But for the wild donkeys, yeah, so far they've been exclusively coming from the BLM.
Yep, but other donkeys, so check Facebook, Craigslist, your local people. Mule days. Go to mule days, guys. You can see what donkeys can really do. And then how do I decide who we're going to work with next? I kind of work with all of them at the same time.
Yeah, but we are guilty of picking the easiest one next. You know, you get through the one and you're making good progress, and you got several others. You kind of usually just the donkey picks you; it's ready to work with. So, usually at the end we have the toughest ones left.
And for how do we decide which one is going to be the easiest one? The one that shows curiosity, the one who is kind of, we like to call it conflicted, where maybe they're kind of nervous, but maybe they'll lean a little bit towards you, or maybe they're okay to eat hay from your hand.
You catch them sneaking up on you, taking a few steps, and you're not looking, and you look at them, and they're like, "Oh, I wasn't sneaking up on you." I mean, they do show little gestures of curiosity, and so when you see curiosity is as strong or stronger than a fear, then you're usually ready to work with.
Now, tomorrow we're going to talk about building trust in first contact.
That's for tomorrow?
That's for tomorrow.
Okay, what's next for today?
We're kind of done already. We're already over 15 minutes. The goal is to keep these at 15 minutes or under.
Okay.
Okay, so tomorrow is building trust, same time, 6:30. Thank you so much for being here. And I love to hear your comments. Send me questions, any questions you have, and I will answer them on tomorrow's Go Live. You guys have an awesome day.